Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marco Jure Show. It's Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. Thank you for tuning in to today's show to hear all the relevant, groundbreaking news here in the United States and around the world. The only show where the facts are facts and hard truths thrive. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow the show, hit that notification tab, and share it with as many people as possible. Let's get ready now for the best hour that Radio has to offer. Uncensored and ready to go. Let's get right down to brass tacks. We've got so much to go over today and so little time, as always. I want to start off talking about what happened yesterday between the meeting between President Donald Trump and, of course, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and what's happening with this entire 21 peace plan proposal that we continue to hear about. So I found some more information about this I wanted to share with everybody, just so we're on the right page about this. Now, Just the News has an article out talking about how President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu have now announced a peace plan to end this conflict in Gaza, which was something that Donald Trump said that he wanted done before he even took office in January. Netanyahu says in a press statement at the White House, he says, this can be done the easy way or the hard way, but it must be done. And of course, we know that he continued on later on afterwards, after his speech, and he basically said, if Hamas doesn't agree to this, then obviously the war will continue on. It will continue to get worse. And what he means by that, of course, is it will continue to get worse for the people of Palestine in Gaza. That's what it means. The Palestinians, not Hamas. We know that 83% of the people have killed, that they've been confirmed killed. And by the way, I've told you there's probably at least 500,000 people that have died. We know there was 2.4 million people inside Gaza before October 7th. Now, there's roughly 1.9 million. So, my math is, a little hazy here, but I'm pretty sure it's around 500,000 people that are now at least considered missing. They don't know where they are. But 1,000 now have been confirmed killed. And that number rises every single day. We hear about 35 deaths, 45, 85. I mean, the numbers are always all over the place, but people are dying every single day as a result of what's going on. But one thing I want to ask you, this is what I've been thinking about, this is what I've been pondering with this whole peace proposal. We hear peace, right? And we think, well, what does that mean? What does peace mean? Peace might mean something different to the Israeli government than it does to the Palestinians. So what is it? Now, will this 21-point plan result in a Palestinian state? That's what I've been thinking about. Now, one of the first terms of this agreement, and then I shared this also with you yesterday as it was being released, was obviously Israel wants the release of all the remaining hostages. They're thought to be 20 alive. Some say there's an estimate of 48 that they have total in captivity. They believe some of them are dead. And they want to give them roughly 72 hours for this exchange, for this phase, to happen. That's the first thing they want. Okay. So, in exchange for this, they want to phase out Israeli forces, to have them withdraw from the region as well. Now, that sounds good in and of itself, correct? We see Israel leaving. We see the release of the hostages. But one of the things I've been saying about this whole thing, what about the Palestinian hostages that Israel has? Most of you have never heard about this. They have roughly 12,000 people held without any type of crime or charge in captivity with them. That's what they have. But now they're also trying to call for the release of Palestinian hostages and or prisoners, whatever you like to call it, some that are serving 100 to 200-year life sentences. And I think to myself, okay, so now you're going to release actual criminals that you've convicted and put them back into Gaza? I mean, that doesn't seem too conducive for peace, Just thought I'd share that with you. Unless, of course, the terms were erroneous. But Prime Minister Netanyahu has now agreed to President Trump's terms after President Trump met with the governments of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, Indonesia, Pakistan, their leaderships. So now they're talking about this Board of Peace, right? The Trump administration is kind of leading this Board of Peace, putting it all together. And they're also saying things such as Israel will not attack Qatar again, prohibits forced displacement from Gaza, meaning of the Palestinians, and prohibits Hamas from any future role in governance. Now, there's some problems I have with this just off the bat. How do they know exactly how much Hamas brass is there still? In Gaza today, there are still tens of thousands of Hamas militants. That's true. They've killed roughly 20,000. That's what they estimate. But there's still tens of thousands of this military group still inside Gaza. So how are we going to come to a consensus on this? These are the people running their government. And, of course, they haven't even been involved in any of these peace talks. So now, of course, if money goes wayside from the Gulf Arab states that have been in this meeting primarily, it would obviously be difficult to fund this. But what if the ruling Palestinian Committee, that's what they're calling it now, allows to funnel money back into this group? Then you have no security on both sides. And again, look at the adulation we see of Syria's new de facto leader, Ahmed al-Shara, right? He was once on the State Department's wanted list for terrorism, had a bounty for $10 million on his head. This guy was beheading Christians, Druze, Alawites, Kurds, among other groups, while leading a paramilitary faction with the rebels trying to overthrow the government. This Hayat Tahrir al-Sham group is what he was a part of, this Islamic paramilitary group. And then you have David Petraeus, the former CIA director, U.S. general, telling him he's a huge fan of his. Now, we might not be the best, or have at least the best judgment when picking leaders. I'd have to tell you that. I don't know. Who are we going to appoint to be a part of this Palestinian committee that leads the government? So now they want an Arab international bodies that are coming in to say that they would allow Hamas amnesty and exile in return, of course, for disarmament and, of course, relinquishing control of the region. Again, a demilitarized zone around Gaza? What does that even entail? What does that mean? Would they take the border wall down and then have a demilitarized zone, just like you see in Korea? And who's going to give up this land? So there's so many things that we talk about. We hear it first. We go, that sounds great. But there's so many things on both sides that have to come together to make this actually happen. And keep in mind, a lot of these similar terms have been presented to Hamas before, and they've turned them down. Just thought I would share that. So is it a PR stunt? Do they think that they're just going to throw us out there? If Hamas doesn't agree to it, then the war can continue on. They can say, well, at least we tried. So what's really happening here? Again, I can't imagine Netanyahu letting Hamas walk free. I really just can't. That was one of their first goals, is to destroy Hamas. And now they're going to give them amnesty and exile, just as long as they put down their weapons. You also want an Arab-led consortium financed by regional and global contributions. Just look no further than the World Bank for this one. And also look at people, greedy investors like BlackRock, among others, to jump all over this investment. Big money will be involved in the reconstruction of Gaza. Absolutely. So that'll be something that's happening. Now, this plan has good intentions, I'm sure. I mean, that's the way I look at it. It doesn't meet most of the provisions for peace. It was, like the great Walter Williams once said, great economist. He's now since died. But he said the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So while there are good intentions here, is it going to lead to something positive, or will it be something similarly chaotic like what we see right now? But these bullet points don't touch on the main issues. That's the problem. Will there be a Palestinian state? That would be something, I think, their own. And it would be some sort of recognition, of course. they would have a state will ever be formed under any condition. Hamas, no Hamas. I mean, what is Netanyahu going to do? Go back to Israel and say, you know what, we're going to create a Palestinian state now. We're going to let Hamas go. I mean, this is not going to be a good look for Netanyahu. That's why I think it just kind of, not going to go through. I can't see him going back and telling the Israeli people this is the end result of this entire conflict, a Palestinian state. So that's going to be a major issue. Netanyahu went as far as to say that if Hamas doesn't accept these terms, again, the disarmament, the release of the hostages, no governance or control with Hamas, we will finish the job. Finish the job. That's what he's going to do. Now, I don't know how he's going to do that, especially, I don't know how this is going to work with Hamas not there. It's basically an agreement between Israel and the United States. They've come together at the behest of these Arab nations. But get this. This is the best part about this. Would the Palestinians really accept an international governance of Donald Trump now, apparently? This is the international governance. And Tony Blair of the UK, former prime minister, member of the wonderful Fabian Socialist Society, right? Which are socialists tearing down their own country. We see that happening in real time that we're looking at right now, at what's happening inside the UK. We're going to talk about that just after this. I bet the Palestinians can't wait for this, right? Global governance, international body. And after all, the British will come back in after destroying the region after World War II, right? That offered Palestine to the Jews in the Balfour Declaration of 1917, leaving, cutting up new borders, lying to the Ottomans about what they were going to do with the region, and then, of course, left completely in 1948, and we see exactly what's happened since. But now we're seeing British colonialism yet again. It's so classic, folks. British involvement in the Middle East. But the kicker is this. This is the best part about this. I just mentioned to you Tony Blair, right? But here's what they want to do. I found this out through Max Blumenthal, by the way, who does fantastic research. He says, this is what he said. He said, Larry Ellison, who now controls TikTok, gave $300 million to the Tony Blair Institute. And so this just tells me this is just AI, surveillance state, police state, however you want to call it, to the max here. This is exactly what they're going to do. And again, Israel's great on spying. That's what they do. They're fantastic with spying on people. So this is something they could easily do. We know Larry Ellison's very tight in with the Netanyahu government. But likely they're going to be able to collect biometric data on the Palestinians, surveillance, absolutely. So it'll be a digital police state. And again, just look at what's happening right now in the UK. They can go in and do this. So Tony Blair will kind of be this leader of essentially giving Oracle all the things they need. And you're going to see how this ties into what's happening in the UK just momentarily. But isn't that interesting? They want Tony Blair to oversee this. Who the hell wants Tony Blair there? Who wants the British there? And again, would the Palestinian people even want this? I can't see that happening. I really don't. So they're going to train Israel for the United States and Tony Blair. Wonderful, right? So now my thoughts on all this are simply, this will not hold unless there's some type of bigger concession being made, of course, by Israel. But I think they give up anything, and the fighting will just continue on. There is no chance Netanyahu abandons the Greater Israel project. There's no way. So is this just a PR stunt? Is this to get everyone to clap and go, thank God Donald Trump set these people down? I can only hope the war ends. I know probably people listening also feel the same way. But then you will have people, the press, coming in and seeing to the full extent now what Israel has actually been doing. And it's not going to bode very well with the international community. That's a big problem. Does Netanyahu really want to see hundreds of thousands of dead bodies being pulled out of rubble? The devastation and intentional blowing up of residential buildings is what's been happening now. You have 3/4 of the world now, of the UN, who support a Palestinian state. What about that? Is that going to become an issue as well? Now, only time will tell, but I will report back to you as any progress is made on this or the lack thereof when it happens. But again, I just don't see this moving forward in a realistic way. And again, I don't say it in the sense that I think Donald Trump intentionally did this just to say, look what I did. Maybe that happened. I don't think so. I think Trump wants peace. I just don't know that Netanyahu's going to go along with it. I really don't. I cannot see that happening. Now, one other point of interest, too. Aaron Monte said this. He's a journalist at the Gray Zone. He posted on X saying, Netanyahu flew to the United States to accept Trump's peace plan. He didn't bother to wait until leaving the U.S. to tell an Israeli audience that he has no intention of withdrawing from the Gaza Strip, confirming the plan to be a complete ruse. Now, the Associated Press reported that many of the items in the peace proposal had been previously rejected by Hamas, and that Trump seems to be betting that the militants are now so decimated that they have no choice but to accept what he and Netanyahu are framing as the last best offer. Again, I told you that's what's going to happen. They'll come to the table and say, if you don't accept the terms, the war continues on, the bombing continues on, the starvation continues on, the rise of disease, of course, will continue on. And it's just awful what you see happening to innocent people that had nothing to do with October 7th. Many people, again, I still see it on the news today. Israel's right to self-defense. Israel's right to self-defense. Yes, they do have a right to self-defense. And they do have a right to secure their border. Absolutely. But this goes way beyond any of that. Why would you deny food into a region? Unless there's some other nefarious reason for all this. Doesn't make any bit of sense to me. Unless it's intentional. So now Trump's ceasefire proposal gives them, Hamas, 72 hours to release all the hostages, which will then allow Israel to claim the group is in violation and ramp up this bombing campaign. Again, it's been intense in Gaza City right now, and it'll have full support of the Trump administration. That's the way it is. They'll say, see, look, we tried. Look what happened between Iran and the negotiation. They planned for a meeting on a Sunday, and that Friday Israel bombs them, and they say, well, look, we gave them 60 days. It was day 61. That's okay. They have my congratulations. So then why did you schedule a meeting for that day? Why wouldn't you schedule it on the last day of the so-called 60 days? Again, people see this. The Iranians see this. They were all ready to come to the table. They were actually going to accept the terms, by the way. And now that's over. Same thing in Doha, in Qatar. Hamas goes there to negotiate about the releasing of the hostages and, of course, the parameters of the war. And what happens? Israel bombs a sovereign nation, killing 3 people. Do you think Hamas is going to believe anything that Israel wants to propose now? They're the ones that have broken the ceasefire every single time. Now, I think the leadership looking at this will never buy it. That's the sad truth about this. I don't know how this ends, but I can tell you a lot of these countries are not going to buy what's going on here. There's got to be massive security details or interests that are met on both sides for this to work, for any type of ceasefire proposal to actually work its way through. Otherwise, you're not going to see it. Hamas is just simply not going to buy it. And good luck getting them to go to a meeting. God knows what will happen. Netanyahu had to even talk with the Qatar Prime Minister yesterday and apologize for bombing them. Again, I think the United States gave them the go-ahead. There's no way Qatar intelligence or the U.S. intelligence. Again, Qatar is an ally of the United States in the Gulf. There's no way both did not notice an Israeli plane in their airspace and allow them to bomb this building of which was holding these Hamas negotiators. It didn't achieve the plan that they wanted. And by the way, they didn't achieve the plan they wanted to in Iran too. Just thought I'd share that with you because that's being touted around again as something successful. It wasn't. It wasn't at all. Again, I tell you, a third of Tel Aviv bombed. You have the Haifa refinery bombed. You have blackouts going on throughout central Israel. You have 2 of the major 3 ports destroyed. So now good luck getting your trade going. The Ben Gurion airport was hit, so people couldn't fly and leave. Again, you have hundreds of thousands of people leaving Israel right now. They're not telling you this. The tourism is obviously down, which was a big money maker for them. So their economy is in shambles right now. And they're saying that they beat Iran. I don't see that as something viable here. Again, I want peace to work. I want all that to happen. But do I think it's going to happen? I simply do not. At least not this round of proposals. Hopefully something will come to eventually. So that's the only thing we can hope for. We'll see what happens. All right, moving on. This is in Sling News, and this kind of relates to what I was just talking about. It says here that the UK's government's mandatory digital ID scheme exposed as a global scam. Well, it is a global scam. It's the mark of the beast. That's what it is. That's what they want to bring to you, folks. That's what you have to look forward to in the UK. By the way, the UK's government, in their new mandatory digital scheme, has been exposed as a scam to profit globalist elites led by former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. And who do they want to run the area of the Gaza Strip? Tony Blair. There you go. There you go. It's all working together. See how it's all working together, folks? It's all connected. Evidence has now emerged that Blair has been secretly lobbying for tech giant Oracle, that'd be Larry Ellison, by the way, who now owns TikTok, whose son's going to be buying CBS. Just understand that. The company now favored to profit from Britain's looming digital ID card system. So again, it'll be a surveillance system. It'll be collecting and storing data on people. And it'll be a way to control the population full ahead. There you go. So now, as Slate News has reported, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, also of the Fabian Society, right? He used to run the Fabian Society, by the way. Again, a socialist front group for the UK. It's been around for a very, very long time, too. But he and Tony Blair were a part of this. And now they recently unveiled plans for every Brit to carry a digital ID in order to work, to rent property, or even access basic services. So this is just a stepping stone to the eventual thing that they would like to do, which is chip everybody. Everybody has a chip, either in the forehead, in the hand, or some sort, and everything is in the chip. So now everything's going to be on this digital ID. That's how that's going to work. Everyone has to have a cell phone. You have to have your cell phone with you. Everything is on that app. And just so we're clear, with Starmer's Socialist Labour Party holding a supermajority in Parliament, the government will now be able to force through new laws without any type of resistance. Why? Well, because in 1997, when Tony Blair was Prime Minister, what happened in the UK, folks? Well, they took away everyone's guns rights. There you go. Everyone took their guns away. No more guns in the UK. Wonderful. So now we have leaked documents reveal that Blair has quietly been working behind the scenes to steer lucrative contracts towards Oracle. Oracle has billions already tied up in UK government deals. Remember, these work with the CIA in the United States as well. So it's all connected. They'll be running TikTok. They'll be running, obviously, the surveillance states now. They want to create in Gaza, the UK, the United States. They want this for the U.S. too, by the way. What do you think they had us do? COVID passports. That was just a beta test. See, are people going to go along with this? Are people going to really show that they've had 2 shots of toxic adjuvants for a virus with a 99.99997% survival rate for the vast majority of the population? Unless, of course, you had many comorbidities. Are the people really that dumb that they would show some random person at the door that they've had a shot that doesn't even stop the transmission? That's what the beta test is all about. Same thing with the mask. Are people going to wear masks around? If I tell them to wear a mask, wear 2 masks, wear 3 masks, wipe your ass with a mask and wear it. What are they going to do? Every single thing was a beta test. And I hate to get angry about this, but this is exactly what you are seeing. The tech giants starting to control the social media, so they control the information that you see. So you don't see people saying, hey, I think this could be bad. Listen to this. This is exactly what they want. This is exactly what they want, folks. Make no mistake about it. They want complete control of the population with absolutely no resistance, and this digital ID will ensure all that. It has to. Because all the government has to do now is, you've been protesting against the Labor Party. We've seen this. We've controlled this. It's on our app that you posted on this social media website, and now we're shutting off your access for 2 days. You say, oh my God, 2 days. I have no access to my wallet. I can't buy food or gas or go anywhere really because I need to purchase things and I have no hard currency. It's all central bank digital currency. You see how far you get. Then, hey, your social credit score goes down too. That's what's happening in China right now. That'll be a part of this too. It hasn't been mentioned yet, but that'll be a part of this digital ID too. So now every time you get a little warning, and by the way, go watch Demolition Man if you don't believe me. That'll be the way it works out. You say something the government doesn't like. Let's say you protest the illegal aliens inside the UK. Well then, hey, boom, you got a ding on your digital ID. The government sees it. Okay, you've lost 10 points in your social credit score. You can't access your phone for an hour now. Uh-oh, I can't buy anything for an hour? Nope, can't buy anything for an hour, can't access anything. No payments will be made to the digital ID and your bank account, your wallet. This is how it's going to work. This is how it's going to work. Believe you me, folks. Now, the scandal runs deep as Ellison's Institute has now pledged a staggering £257 million, which equates to $345 million to Blair's own Institute for Global Change. Now, what did I just tell you Max Blumenthal found out? Ellison just dumped all this money into Tony Blair's Institute for Global Change. Now they're going to prop him up with a nice little position governing the Gaza Strip. So now the ties are raising serious questions about conflicts of interest and, of course, self-dealings. Obviously, folks, that's complete control. So now Oracle has major contracts worth up to 1.34 billion American dollars or 1 billion pounds with UK ministries and, of course, the National Socialist Healthcare System, the National Health Service. With these digital ID cards looming, the company is now poised to rake in even more taxpayer dollars. Yep. So you're paying for your own demise here. You're paying for your own demise. That's what it comes down to. They lobby who they want to control this and lead it. That's why Blair's in charge of it. Okay, and then in the background you have Larry Ellison, you have the Sun, you have all these other people, same people running TikTok, same people running Meta, and all the other social media apps out there. I don't know what Elon Musk will do with X. I have no idea. But I imagine they'll all be playing ball with each other. So I told you before, no to a national ID card. No. You do not want the federal government having this information on you. That's what this is. That exactly is. The state runs everything. We are citizens of the state we reside in. That's why the state gives you an ID card, of course. Yes, we have national documents too. But it's all through the state. It's all through the state. That's the way it works. So now if the federal government gets it, then they know everything about you. They know what you own, what you do. They have a gun registry, obviously. That'll be something they would implement as well. It would just go beyond the states, which again is unconstitutional in my estimation. But they will definitely continue to try this. Oh, by the way, if you don't believe me that this is definitely a thing, this was in a movie called America From Freedom to Fascism. It was done by a gentleman. What was his name? Oh my God. I can't think of it right now. Aaron Russo. Fantastic guy. Really awake, really knew what was going on. He's now since deceased. But this came out, I believe, in 2006, and he really foresaw where we are right now. And I think you'll agree with me, too. Take a listen.
Please Pizza Palace, guaranteed hot in 30 minutes or it's free. This is Mary. May I take your order?
Hi, Mary. Yes, I'd like to order.
Is this Mr. Kelly?
Yes?
Thank you for calling again, sir. I show your national identification number as 610-204-999-8-45-54610. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I see you live at 736 Montrose Court, but you're calling from your cell phone. Are you at home?
I'm just leaving work, but I'm...
Oh, we can deliver to Bob's Auto Supply. That's at 175 Lincoln Avenue, yes?
No, I'm on my way home. How do you know all this stuff?
We just got wired into the system, sir.
Oh, well, I'd like to order a couple of your double meat special pizzas.
Sure thing. There'll be a new $20 charge for those, sir.
What do you mean?
Sir, the system shows me that your medical records indicate that you have high blood pressure and extremely high cholesterol. Luckily, we have a new agreement with your national health care provider that allows us to sell you double meat pies as long as you agree to waive all future claims of liability.
What?
Do you agree, sir? You can sign the form when we deliver, but there is a charge for processing. The total is $67 even.
$67?
Well, that includes the delivery surcharge of $15 to cover the added risk to our driver of traveling through an orange zone.
I live in an orange zone?
Now you do. Looks like there was another robbery on Montrose yesterday. You could save $48 if you ordered our special Sprout Submarine combo and picked it up yourself. Comes with tofu sticks. Those are very tasty, sir. Good value, too.
But I want double meat.
Well, I'm sure you can afford the $67 then. You just bought those tickets to Hawaii. They weren't cheap, eh? Oh, but I see you checked out the budget beach bum at the library last week. Up to you, sir.
All right. I'll get the Sprout subs.
Good choice, sir. Gotta watch that waist if you're hitting the beach, eh? 42 inches. Wow. Man, I'd say tofu and Sprouts is, like, required.
That's how much?
Just between you and me, there's a $3 off coupon in this month's Total Men's Fitness magazine. Your wife Betty subscribes to that, right? Anyhow, clip that and it's $19.99 even. Whoa, looks like you maxed out on all your credit cards. Bring cash, okay?
So you see how this can easily get out of hand. If you have people that have access to all this information about you, it wouldn't be a very difficult thing to do. And I know you were listening to it versus seeing it, but it was just like if you had a template up. You see the national ID card, the name, the address, the cell phone, the home numbers, the information. As if you're filling out your Facebook, right? Which we've all maybe at some point had. I used to have one many years ago. I don't have one anymore. But this is very easily put in a template. They can see all this information. You can see your health information. You see how a doctor comes in now when you have a checkup. They have a nice laptop with them now. Before they used to have just a little clipboard. They'd write things on it. They'd keep files. Now everything is in PDF files, easily to be uploaded to the internet. So it wouldn't be a very difficult thing for any type of pediatrician or general practitioner to upload all this information onto any type of server for everybody to see. So you see how that could work. And it sounds a little extreme, of course. Oh, I see you bought this. They can see everything then. If everything is on this digital ID, they can see everything that's on it. And once it's on it, they control everything. Oh, well, hey, you live in this zone. Well, we're going to charge you a little bit more because it's more dangerous. Oh, you have high blood pressure? Well, you have to waive that we, consider this to you. And obviously, there's no liability. You see how these things get way out of control. Now, it seems far-fetched. I won't lie to you. It seems far-fetched, right? But that's the direction they're taking you. And it's done in slow increments. Do you waive this fee if we sell you this double meat or whatever the hell it was that he was purchasing, pizza? Or you can get the soy tofu nonsense bullcrap submarine sandwich. Probably tastes god-awful with zero nutrients in it. And estrogen, by the way, which you don't want in your body. That's why you should avoid soy. But this is how things get out of hand. And again, it's not that far-fetched. Because everyone has access to all your information. Do you want that? It's a total breach of the Fourth Amendment, too, by the way. But they'll do it. They'll do it. They'll say, well, hey, we had the backing of the people. Nobody said anything when we passed through Congress. And now we are implementing this. So that's why I tell you, no to a national ID. No to digital currency. Certainly not any central bank digital currency. I told you those stable coins are the exact same thing. Stay away from that. But we don't want everyone accessing all your information. That's the point of it all. That's exactly what's happening in the UK now. Now they can't even do anything in the UK, by the way. Even this is happening.
Okay, what was it?
Sorry, I don't like the camera. You can have my body cam.
So this woman is recording 2 female British police, and apparently they were going after the daughter's phone for viewing a social media post. Just viewing it. And this is what they tell this woman.
I just don't like the camera, really.
Okay, well, I'm doing this because this is my own house, and I am telling you why I'm doing it. So I just need to know why would she's basically viewed a post which is not an arrestable offence.
Viewed an offence, that's been.
Okay.
It happened in May, and you're completely fine. The only thing is, we need to seize the phone at this current moment. The phone needs to get seized from us, otherwise we will escalate this further.
But with a voluntary interview.
So have you seized anyone else? Is she the only child you're picking on?
Voluntary interview, you'd be able to come.
Have you spoken to anyone else? No, we'll come to the station now.
Do you mind letting her finish her sentence before?
Yeah.
She does have to get further escalation, unfortunately.
That's fine. We'll come to the station now.
The phone isn't seized right now, and we're not able to basically get the phone. We'd have to escalate this further, which means your daughter will get arrested.
For what? Viewing a social media post? Is that?
I need to go with her in order to.
No, absolutely not.
What should we do? Prevent destruction of evidence.
I'm sorry.
Lisa.
That's fine. I would like you to leave now. I'd like you to leave.
This is why you're.
Okay.
So now they're in the house, and it looks like they're going to be arresting probably the mother and the daughter now for viewing a social media post.
Nothing more to say to you. A social media post. I've got nothing more to say. I'd like you to leave. You've harassed this child enough. I'd like you to leave.
Lisa, that's no worries.
Okay.
And now they left, but who knows if they came back. This is what people in the UK are dealing with. People that are protesting what's happening in Gaza, just for holding up a sign, are being accused of being insensitive to minorities. Yeah. Or against the illegal migration into the country. Yep. Protest against that. You get arrested. You get taken away, hauled away by the police. It's amazing. This is why our founders foresaw the government getting too much control, becoming tyrannical, and the people having to stand up against the government. You're seeing it play out right in front of your eyes in front of the UK right now. And other countries are not too far behind, by the way. But this is, again, the digital ID or a national ID, whatever they want to call it. Everything is in the system, and they will control every aspect of your life. They'll monitor it. And if you go against it, like, for example, you viewed a post the government deems is unworthy to watch, well, your social credit score will get lower. And there'll be some type of fine. And since they control your wallet and everything, they'll just take it right out. There's no going to court. There's no nothing. You have no say. Everything is under their control. I don't think you want that, America. I don't think so. I could be wrong. It doesn't make any sense that you would want that, but that's where they are taking it. This is where and it will go there. Again, look no further than the UK right now. You will not be able to buy food. You will not be able to work, be able to rent property. Any other type of services you will be eliminated from because you're going to need this digital ID to access it all. It is complete state-run tyranny happening right in front of your eyes. Not a shock. Not a shock. Again, people that are awake, figure this out. We don't want digital IDs. We don't want gun registries. We don't want any of this. Certainly not a digital currency of any sort. And we certainly don't want people spying on our social media and collecting information on us, which happens every single day. Nothing happens to the people that do it, that sell your information and make billions, like Larry Ellison. Just thought I'd share that all with you. All right, moving on. This is in the Hill from the other day. I didn't get to this yesterday, but Missouri governor signs a new GOP-favored map. So we're going back to these redistricting maps right now for the congressional seats. And he said that I was proud to officially sign a Missouri First map into law today ahead of the 2026 midterm election, is what Mike Kehoe said. He said, Missourians are more alike than we are different, and our values across both sides of the aisle are closer to each other than those of the congressional representation of states like New York, California, and Illinois. We believe this is the best representation for Missourians, and I appreciate the support and effort of state legislators, a congressional delegation, and President Trump in getting this map to my desk. Interesting. Very interesting stuff here. Keogh said that, again, you're going to see this from a lot of Republican states now that California's gone over the edge with this, of course. And by the way, you need to vote no on Prop 50, my Californian friends, coming this fall, that Gavin Newsom's spending $282 million of your taxpayer money on so he can remove 5 representation seats for the Republicans. Because having 9 seats in the state of California, a state of almost 39 million people, is simply too much representation for the opposition party. Gavin Newsom is totally fine with doing that, by the way. There you go. There you go. So it looks like they're going to be gaining a seat here. It said that the U.S. House number of seats to Republicans will result in 7 and reduce the number of Democratic seats to 1, is what it looks like here. So, the big issue here, and then Gavin Newsom, of course, he accuses Greg Abbott in Texas of gerrymandering and how unthinkable this is. Listen, Democrats have been doing this forever. In fact, the act of gerrymandering has been done for a very long time. Since 1812, by the way. Give you a little history on this. Elbridge Gerry, that's where it's named after, Gerry, he had signed into law this gerrymandering partisan district map of the city of Boston, and it was in the shape of a salamander, so it wasn't an even, square district, as you would understand. And again, right away it was viewed as corrupting the electoral process, hence gerrymandering. I tried telling that to Gavin Newsom, who thinks that this whole tactic was invented by the Republicans in Texas just earlier this year. This has been going on for a long time. They do it in California. They've done this for a long time. They collapse Republican districts into themselves, making less representation. And Republicans have done it too over the decades as well. So it's nothing new. But the idea that Gavin Newsom has to come out and do this just shows you what a complete hack he is. Doesn't do anything for the representatives of his state, the citizenry, absolutely. He's only concerned about one thing, and that is his own power. How can he leverage more control? That's exactly who he is. Now, the Democrat target in this new map is Emanuel Cleaver, who has represented Kansas City for 2 decades. But the map splits the urban center into 3 districts now and adds an additional rural territory to Cleaver's district, making it much more conservative. That's what they're doing now. Again, when they have been doing this in California, you'll see a district, a metropolitan area, it'll loop back up to where the district is. They make all these districts just like that. So again, nothing new, nothing different. You're seeing it happen in Texas and Missouri, among other states. They're thinking about doing it again in Illinois, which already does it completely. So again, it's a big joke. But look at Gavin. He's doing every single thing he can to gather more support. And by the way, the people of California don't like this, by the way. Even the Democrats are against this. So it just goes to show you what he's doing is not very popular. I'll just put it to you that way. Oh, by the way, speaking of Chicago. Yep, Chicago. And New Jersey, right? It says here, this is in the New York Post, it says New Jersey polls slam tributes to Assata Shakur, who was convicted of executing a New Jersey state trooper. But the candidate for the gubernatorial race, I think it's Mikie Sherrill, is silent on this. I wonder why. Lefty groups have paid tribute to Assata Shakur, the fugitive black liberation activist who recently died after escaping a life sentence for murder of a New Jersey state trooper in 1973, faced with widespread condemnation of the Garden State polls from both parties. But Democratic Representative Mikie Sherrill, who was running for governor in November, was notably silent. Well, why would she say anything? She probably agrees with her. Outgoing Democratic Governor Phil Murphy even slammed a tribute to Shakur from the Chicago Teachers Union as shameful and depraved. Even Phil Murphy, who's one of the lowest of the lows, came out and condemned this. And what the hell's going on with the Chicago Teachers Union that they're promoting a woman who killed somebody who was a part of the Black Panthers and the Black Liberation Army? How the hell did this happen? Well, why do they even care? Look at this. The CTU, which represents more than 27,000 members, hailed Shakur, who was living in Cuba after her prison break 46 years ago, as a revolutionary fighter. Oh, yeah. What the hell did she fight for? Seriously, what the hell did she fight for? She was a member of the radical group, the Black Panthers first, then the leader of the Black Liberation Army. These are both extremist, pro-Black power groups that place Leninism and communism, and of course Black power in high regard in their ideology. And of course Black nationalism. Sounds a little bit racist to me, folks. Doesn't it sound a little bit racist to you? After all, white power is racist. Black power should be racist as well, right? Well, no. They tell you only white power is racist. Everything else is just simply fantastic, prideful, and joyful of who you are. Only whites cannot feel any type of pride for whom they are. Anyways, that's another topic for another time. But she was convicted of murdering a New Jersey state trooper named Werner Forster, who was executed in cold blood. This is what Phil Murphy even wrote. There are so many worthy heroes to celebrate, and she's not one of them. Good for him. I actually agree with Phil Murphy. I can't believe it. Maybe this guy is falling. Who knows? Other Garden State polls, including Democrat Representative Josh Gottheimer and GOP Rep Tom Keene, also paid tribute to Forster. But Sherrill posted nothing about the trooper by Sunday afternoon and did not respond to the Post's request for a comment. Now remember, she's going to be leading the state, and she has a chance to, again, set things right. Everyone should be condemning violence against other people. That's what a civil society does. And right now you have somebody championing somebody who murdered a New Jersey state trooper in cold blood. Werner Forster. And she has nothing to say about it? That's a pretty big thing, folks. Republican candidate for governor Jack Ciattarelli didn't post about Forster on his social accounts, but did offer a statement praising the murder of Trooper Forster is disgraceful. Here in New Jersey, people from all sides of the political spectrum have condemned the attack, except for my opponent. Okay, so he didn't get too political, but he condemned the violence. That's all you need to do, folks. All you do is condemn violence. This is not appropriate in a civil society to treat people like this. But apparently this candidate can't even do that. Mikie Sherrill cannot even bring herself to acknowledge Trooper Forster's death as she runs to appease the radical left. Both Mikie and the CTU should be ashamed of themselves. Absolutely right. Took the words right out of my mouth. That's absolutely right. Yep. So this woman, I guess, got to live the rest of her life in Cuba. Sounds like she was already in prison. I mean, come on. Why would you want to live in Cuba now? But I mean, it is a communist bastion, a paradise for these types of people. So who knows? Maybe she liked it a lot. I don't know. But we should remember good men like State Trooper Werner Forster, folks. Not scum of the earth like this woman. Yep, look at this. She and two others were involved in a gunfight with New Jersey State Police New Jersey State Police troopers after a highway stop on May 2nd, 1973, which saw Trooper Werner Forster killed and another officer wounded. Shakur was found guilty in 1977 of murder, armed robbery, and other criminal offenses and was sentenced to life behind bars, only to escape a New Jersey prison in 1979, with her supporters maintaining that she was pursued for crimes because she didn't commit or were justified. Well, of course they were. They're communist. Look how these people reacted to Charlie Kirk. They were happy about it. They were cheering about it. It's disgusting behavior. Absolutely disgusting behavior. To champion the murder of other people. Innocent people. Look at this. Assata refused to be silenced with the Chicago Teachers Union. What a bunch of scumbags they are. She taught us that it is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. What the hell does that even mean? She taught us we must love each other? When the hell what was that message? In the Black Panthers or the Black Liberation Army? Where the hell is that? Killing law enforcement? Supporting each other? Who the hell did she support? We have nothing to lose but our chains. What does that mean? We have nothing to lose but our chains. It is our duty to win. Fight for our freedom. What the hell does this even mean? This is nonsensical, folks. I have nothing more to say. I have nothing to say about this other than the Chicago Teachers Union's awful. It's no shock that the schools there are trash. And if you have your kids in schools there, folks, take them out. Because this is the type of people they are honoring. Complete human scum. Like this Assata Shakur. Yeah, good riddance. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Championing a murderer who killed an innocent state trooper, Werner Forster, who should be remembered. Unbelievable. You can't even make this stuff up how low these teacher unions are. It's absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Oh, by the way, speaking of disgraces, Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani the commie. Mamdummy. That's who he is. Look at this. He's saying that he's going to commit more than $100 million for illegal aliens, legal defense services. This is what he's saying right now. Take a listen.
400,000 of our residents are right now in urgent risk of deportation. The city knows that when it provides legal assistance to those same New Yorkers, their chances of going home increase 11-fold. And yet it has only assisted fewer than 200 of those New Yorkers. That's why also a cornerstone of our campaign is a commitment to increase funding for those very legal defense services by more than $100 million so that we can ensure we're taking every step we can to keep New Yorkers safe, to keep New Yorkers together, and to show the world that they are welcome in this city.
Wow. So he's going to actually put up New York City taxpayer money for legal defense services for illegal aliens. I mean, the script of stupidity writes itself, folks. And then he's smiling here like the jackass that he is. This guy will do anything to spit on the cops, to spit on the Trump administration, to harbor illegal aliens. This is going to be a criminal bastion. Wants to do away with prisons. Wants to do away with cash bail. Wants to do away with police. What kind of a city is this going to be? Wants a government-run grocery stores. Wants free bus services. Who is going to pay for all this nonsense? Because what's going to happen if this schmuck gets elected? It looks like he has a chance. By the way, Eric Adams dropped out of the race, too. That means Cuomo might have a little bit more of a leg up. But we still have Curtis Sliwa in the race, and again, that's going to take at least a quarter of the votes as well. So what's going to happen is it's going to be a three-person race unless Sliwa drops out. And what Cuomo should do, and by the way, Cuomo should be a little bit smarter than this. I got to tell you. Cuomo should be a little smarter than this. What he should do is bring in Adams, bring in Sliwa, and say, I will put you guys in my administration or on an advisor team or something, and I'll have you guys work with me. That's all he has to do. To be a trifecta in New York City to help run the city. But what will happen is if Curtis Sliwa supporters back Cuomo, and of course Eric Adams supporters back Cuomo, and they come together and say, look, we're going to be a part of this. Obviously, Cuomo's going to be the mayor, but he's going to have us advise where we can help make decisions for our constituents. That would be massive. Trump did that, by the way. Trump did that when he was running. He said, I'm going to have so-and-so work here, so-and-so work there. That's what he should have done. I'm going to have this woman run this, whatever he wanted to say, just to show that the cabinet was going to be a little bit more diverse. This is what Cuomo needs to do right now because he is the other person that's likely that can beat Mamdani the commie. He's the only other person that could do it. I hate to tell you that. I don't really particularly like Cuomo. I don't think New York City is going to improve very much. But at least he's not an ardent communist like this guy. This guy's going to bankrupt the city. So it's just shocking me. That's what he should do right now. He should get on the phone with Adams, Sliwa, run a press conference. Both of them say, we're going to drop out because we love the city. And we would like our supporters to back Andrew Cuomo. That's what should be done. And in return, Cuomo should be giving them positions where they can advise him. This is what the Republicans are saying. This is what my constituency is saying. Again, Adams should be great working with the police department. His former police chief. He could use them to his advantage. But again, if you put this guy in, it looks like the people of New York City are that stupid to do that. And again, it's going to be a 3-person race, so he's going to probably come out on top because he has a bulk of the vote. He is going to destroy the city. He's going to bankrupt New York City. It'll become unsafe. It'll become a criminal's paradise. Illegal aliens will harbor there. You're going to see businesses flee. You're going to see people flee. And what's Kathy Hochul going to do? That moron backed him. She'll also be responsible for this. Good luck getting reelected in that case. By the way, let me go over this really quickly. We have a couple moments remaining. One thing I want to touch base on before I go on to this, though. Californians, my friends that listen to this show. California warns fuel traders of shortages that threaten fall price spikes. Get ready for your price of the pump to increase. California is already home, this is in Zero Hedge, by the way, are already home to the highest gasoline price in the United States, is now bracing for another seasonal surge. So not only do you have the highest gas tax, you're also losing refineries. The state's energy regulator has cautioned gasoline traders that it is monitoring the market closely as refinery maintenance squeezes supply. That's because people are leaving. You're seeing the headquarters leave. You're seeing people pulling out. You see Gavin Newsom trying to save face by opening up 2,000 more permits to drill in the state for oil, petroleum, natural gas. But it's not going to work. People have had enough of the regulations and the nonsense and the taxation on the energy sector. So now the average price of Californians pay at the pump has now reached $4.66 per gallon. Just on Tuesday, $1.48 above the national average. Good job, Gavin. So now we have the state's unique fuel blends. Of course, they make these different types of blends for the strict environmental rules there. Make it harder to secure alternative supplies, of course, when local refineries shut down. So what do they have to end up doing? They have to start importing from overseas, which makes it cost even more. So now over time, the industry has reduced capacity in California, further tightening the market. They used to have 43 different refineries, I think 43 or 44 in the early 1980s. Now they're down to 11. Good job, Democrats. Way to go here. So expect those prices to jump up a little bit come this fall. But this is a good article. I want to go over this in the remaining moments we have of the show. It says here that in Brietbart, Sanctuary, New Jersey, right? Same place where Chitterelli is, and of course, what's her name? Mikie, what's her name? The one that's running for governor. I can't think of her name. She's irrelevant. Sherrill. There we go. This is in the sanctuary state of New Jersey. It says that ICE agents have now arrested 9 Chilean illegal aliens, all of whom overstayed their visas. Remember, we have 55 million people here who have overstayed their visas, who were involved in a South American theft ring operating in the sanctuary state of New Jersey. Yep, there you go. So they will harbor in places that allow it. Think New York City. Think New Jersey. Think California. Think Illinois. This is what's happening. And we had ICE's Ruben Perez saying in a statement, "We are committed to stopping transient criminal aliens who exploit our immigration system to harm American businesses and communities. By working closely with our law enforcement partners, ICE is dismantling this South American theft groups and ensuring those who break our laws face justice." Think about what Trinidad Aragua did, right? We had that big criminal organization up here. We have MS-13. We have all these people coming here to do us harm. Do us harm day in and day out. I mean, it just never ends here. Look at this. They're known for conducting sophisticated trade crafts to conduct high-end residential business burglaries. That's who the Biden administration led in the country. People coming in to do harm in well-to-do, affluent areas. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Thank God the Trump administration has shut that border down, and border crossings are an all-time low. We have actually a secure border for once. Folks, enjoy the rest of your day. Be blessed. Be productive. I'll see you tomorrow on the next Marco Dre Show. Take care. God bless each and every one of you.